make Africa the tree of life.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Honorable Dorothy Kapula, Governor of the mighty Zambezi region. Honorable Selma Ashipala Musavi, the Minister of International Relations and Trade. Honorable Kennedy Simasiku, the Councillor for Katima Epen, as well as Member of Parliament. Mr. Bhiven Walubita, the Acting Chief Regional Officer of the Zambezi region. All regional and local authority councillors that are present here. I'm advised that there are also traditional leaders, so all traditional leaders that are present here. Mr. Sakius Kapenda, the Deputy Director from the Ministry. Mr. Norbert Ruchinda from NAMRA. Mr. Pinia Shinyala from the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. Distinguished members of the business community, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you very much. My name is Rino Muranda, and I'm responsible for stakeholder relations at the Namibia Investment Promotions and Development Board. But this afternoon, I'll be your Director of Proceedings to ensure that we have a smooth facilitation of this program. Let me take this opportunity to welcome our viewers online as we are live streaming this important engagement. The live streaming is made possible through a smart partnership between the Ministry of International Relations and Trade and the Namibian Broadcasting Corporation. We want to thank the national broadcaster for coming on board to ensure that no one gets left out from these engagements, and that the people are able to follow the proceedings online, whether it's from the comfort of their houses, work, or from their palms, from anywhere in this world. So why are we here? The Ministry of International Relations and Trade, in conjunction with the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy, is undertaking these regional engagements with the business community designed to facilitate Namibia's integration into the continental trade framework under the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA. These engagements serve as a critical platform for direct dialogue between government officials and the private sector, including SMEs, aimed at fostering mutual understanding, identifying export-ready businesses, and aligning policy measures to support Namibia's participation in the African continental trade. This afternoon, we are here in Katima Mulilo, in the mighty Zambezi region, to engage our business people to understand your challenges, pain points, and possibly hear your inputs on the type of support you require to take advantage of this opportunity. At this juncture, let me indicate that the live streaming will only cover the open session up until the vote of thanks. After that, we will have to excuse our partners from the media and dive into the question and answer closed session. Now that we know why we are here, and I understand there are representatives from all the 8 constituencies of the mighty Zambezi region, I would then want us to go straight into the business of the day and request the Honorable Councillor, Member of Parliament, Kennedy Simasiku, to welcome us to his town and his constituency. Simasiku.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Um, First of all, allow me to stand on the protocol already established. Let me use this opportunity to, first of all, congratulate the Minister of International Relations and Trade, Comrade Selma Shipala Musavi, on your appointment to this very important portfolio of trade diplomacy and international relations. This is a very welcome engagement to this region specifically. We have a lot of interested people who are very much willing to engage in trade or establish businesses where they'll be able to trade with other partners in SADC and indeed the whole world. But one of the pertinent questions they keep asking is market access, if not financing, to allow them to grow their businesses. So it is important that these kinds of engagements are taking place, and to allow them time and space to ask questions and further engage on so many other issues that they wish to be fully informed on. That said, my task is very simple, is to welcome you, Honorable Minister, and your high-level delegation to the Zambezi region, and specifically to my constituency, if I may say so, of Katima Eben. And we wish to welcome you wholeheartedly, and hopefully you shall enjoy your stay here, a very productive stay, if I may so wish, so that by the end of the day, we are fully informed and able to engage, and hopefully one day we shall have one of our people here who shall have an opportunity to do business with their counterparts the world over. With that short summary, Honorable Minister and your high-level delegation, you are more than welcome. And I may also extend the same courtesy to all the invited guests, including the traditional leaders. I know we walked around the sun earlier, but I'm sure you have a little bit of energy to listen in and share ideas. I thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I think we are, like you rightly said, in your constituency, in your town, we are welcome. But of course, there's always a first citizen in the region. And I think it's a privilege for us because it's the first time since the appointment that the Ministry of International Relations is having an engagement of this type. So please put together your hands so we can welcome the Honorable Governor for her remarks.
Can I use this? Okay. Thank you very much and good afternoon. Director of Proceedings, Honorable Selma Ashpara Musavi, it's like that, ne? Musavi, Minister of International Relations and Trade. Allow me to stand by the protocol already established. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon once again. It is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you today. I bring warm greetings from the people of the Zambezi region, a region blessed with natural beauty, rich cultural heritage, and immense untapped economic potential. Today's engagement is more than just a meeting of minds, but a call for action. The African Continental Free Trade area is not some distant concept. It's a present-day opportunity. It is an opportunity for Namibia and for the Zambezi region to rise, transform, and integrate meaningfully into the continental economy. Zambezi region is not just a gateway, but a bridge to trade, tourism, and the transboundary cooperation. Strategically positioned at the crossroads of Southern Africa and sharing borders with Angola, Zambia, Botswana, and Zimbabwe, our region holds a powerful geographic advantage. Through the African Continental Free Trade Area, we can leverage this position to become a regional logistics hub, a key explorer to agricultural products, and a dynamic player in cross-border commerce. To realize this vision, we must act decisively and with purpose. We must invest in critical infrastructure. We must harmonize trade regulations, support our small and medium enterprises, and equip our young people with the skills they need to thrive in a competitive continental market. This engagement series is of utmost importance. It provides a platform for public and private sectors to collaborate, unlock new value chains, deepen regional integration, and drive job creation. It challenges us to ask questions like, how do we position Namibia? How do we position Zambezi as a competitive player in Africa's single market of over 1.4 billion people? I'm particularly encouraged by the objective of this engagement to gather first-hand insights, address real challenges, and ensure that the voices of our business community are reflected in the development of trade-supportive policies. It is through listening to the experiences of our entrepreneurs, trade, and SMEs that we can shape policies that are not only inclusive but also practical and responsive to the realities of our on the ground. Therefore, our input today is not only welcomed by, but it's very essential. I would like to clearly affirm our readiness to work hand in hand with the national government, the Ministry of International Relations and Trade, our regional counterparts, development partners, and our own local entrepreneurs to grab the opportunities offered by the African Continental Free Trade Area. We are fully committed to build a prosperous, industrialized, and inclusive Namibia. In conclusion, I commend the Ministry of International Relations and Trade for spearheading this important dialogue. Let this not mark the end of our engagement, but rather the beginning of bold collaboration and concrete action. Let us move forward with confidence and cooperatively to drive Namibia's economic transformation. With this few message, I thank you very much, everyone who came to this engagement. Thank you very much.
So we have seen the new wave of leadership that is going through or is sweeping through our country, and you know, the future is now, or the female leadership is now, the female leadership is now. And when they speak very powerful. So you heard the call. Zambezi region must rise, transform, and integrate. That was a call from the Honorable Governor. The Governor is also saying, how can we position Zambezi region to take advantage of this opportunity? And I hope through these engagements, we will get those answers at the end of the engagement today. Now we move on, and the next is the keynote statement by our keynote guest, that is the Minister of International Relations and Trade, Honorable Selma Ashipala Musavi. Honorable.
No, please, let's sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Thank you very much, Director of Ceremony, Honorable Dorothy Kabula, my sister and the Governor of the Great Zambezi region, Honorable Matengu Simushi, Chairperson of the Regional Council, Honorable Kennedy Simasiku, Katima Mulilo Eben Councillor, and all other constituency and local councillors present, and thank you very much for that warm welcome. Mr. Rafael Liswaniso, Chief Executive Officer, he might not be here, but I think it is worth that we acknowledge him. Mr. Bevan Walubita, Acting Chief Regional Officer, Bishop Limbo, Chairperson of the Pastors Forum, traditional and spiritual leaders, Captain of Industries and Business Leaders, both large and MSMEs, members of the academia, senior government officials, esteemed guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, and if there's anyone I've left out, please, you are acknowledged. Good afternoon. Thank you very much. At the outset, let me appreciate you all for the warm welcome to this great region. Let me also take this opportunity to congratulate you, my dear sister, the Governor of this great region, for your well-deserved appointment to the highest office in the region. My colleagues and I from the Ministry of International Relations and Trade look forward to continuing working with you and your team and all the members of the community for the further empowering of the community members, and also for stimulating further the local economy for both local and national benefit. We are here convening the third regional business engagement with the private sector, including the SMEs, an initiative of the Ministry of International Relations and Trade, together with the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy, having recognized the interlinkages of our two mandates. Let me therefore take this opportunity to sincerely thank you all for having made the time to grace this occasion with your presence. We are truly grateful. We do not take it for granted because we know there's a lot going on today. You have an expo going on and you have decided to come to this event. So thank you very much. Of course, we are Namibians, and proudly so, but we are also Africans. Therefore, what happens in the SADC region and in the greater continent should be of interest to all of us. African leaders have decided to deepen and enhance continental integration. This vision is anchored in what is now known as the African Union Agenda 2063, the Africa we want, which is Africa's blueprint and master plan for transforming Africa into the global powerhouse that it can be. Not only pursuing continental peace, but to enhance intra-African trade. This vision is born out of the fact that despite Africa's natural resource endowment, most of our raw materials leave our continent with minimal or without value addition at all. In order to address this anomaly, our leaders adopted the African Continental Free Trade Area, which aims to bring about trade among ourselves as Africans through trade liberalization. In other words, to reduce or eliminate tariffs or custom duties to goods and services emanating from within the continent. For your own information, as some of you might already know, Namibia has signed the African Continental Free Trade Area on the 2nd of July 2018, and we have acceded to all the necessary protocols in 2019. This now means that Namibia can trade with other African countries under the terms of that agreement. Furthermore, we have developed and finalized our implementation strategy and constituted a national team that guides us in implementing this agreement. This team is composed of government ministries, agencies, academia, and stakeholders from the private sector and civil society. Of course, there are advantages in having a free trade agreement, such as attracting investment, especially in manufacturing and value addition industry. To this end, the ministry is in the process of finalizing the investment promotion bill, which focuses both on foreign and local investors through what we call specialized economic zones. The manufacturing incentives that will be accorded to the investors are being spearheaded by the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy, and I'm happy that officials from that ministry are here with us this afternoon. Equally, through agencies and trade missions, we continue to showcase what Namibia has to offer, especially on products with potential for external trade, as well as attracting foreign direct investment and supporting the growth of local enterprises. In addition, initiatives like the SME Economic Recovery Loan Scheme and procurement law aim to empower small businesses and promote inclusive growth. We all know that the pillar of our economy are the SMEs and MSMEs, and they are the ones that need to be supported. I have taken some time simply to set the context of why we are here this afternoon, and the governor have also touched on that. You will recall that at the beginning of the year, after her inauguration, Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah created the Ministry of International Relations and Trade and the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. I'm taking time to explain this so that we all know where to direct our queries. The Ministry of International Relations and Trade is among others mandated to implement and enhance external trade and investment promotion. So it is responsible for international relations, it is responsible for international trade, and it is also responsible for investment promotion. whereas the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy does all those or take care of those three portfolios and also take care of internal commerce as well as SMEs. That's why we are doing this regional outreach together. For us to access African and global markets, the private sector must manufacture and produce goods and services for export. We can not only be the ones importing. We cannot only be the ones importing. We are talking about unity in diversity, natural resource beneficiation, and youth empowerment for sustainable development. That theme was informed by that vision for Namibia to begin to add value to what we have and for us to be integrated in the continental economy and thereafter in the global economy. So, when we talk about that theme, what are we actually talking about? Natural resource beneficiation. The more finished goods we export, the more jobs we create. What additional jobs can be created in the Zambezi region? What other sectors have we overlooked in this region? And how can government intervene to unlock its full potential? On youth empowerment for sustainable development, what makes Namibia and Africa attractive to the investor is its youthful workforce. Do the youth have the requisite skills? In what ways can we actualize the innovative ideas of our youth to contribute to employment creation and innovation? This engagement, therefore, serves as a platform for policymakers and like-minded business associates to exchange knowledge and ideas on how to ensure that the Namibian products have access and compete effectively in the SADC region, in the continent, and globally. Simply put, the question has been asked by the governor. We are here to do the following: put heads together, assist the ministry to engage and hear from businesses about their concerns and proposals on how the government could assist to improve their production capacities. Understand regulatory frameworks and various agreements that the government has negotiated to enhance market access on the continent. The officials will provide information on what steps need to be taken. The engagement is also meant to understand the isolated challenges faced by exporting MSMEs, such as difficulties in reaching wider markets, lack of access to trade information pertaining to issues such as trade facilitation and non-tariff barriers. Equally important, we must ask ourselves here and today, what distinguishes Zambezi region from other regions? Besides the Zambezi brim, and I'm happy that the expo on the adjacent premise is actually named after that. Besides the mangoes that we have here, that can be exploited to produce mango juice and sap, as well as the famous rice from the Kalimbesa project. What else makes Zambezi region tick? That is what we need to explore here this afternoon, because that is what will give Zambezi region a competitive advantage. So that is what So that is what we need to talk about. And this is what we mean by saying this is business unusual. We are not just here to say, Honorable Minister, we have this challenge and we have that challenge. No. I really believe that even people who live in poverty have ideas of how to escape that poverty and create prosperity. The only missing link usually is the means, but they have ideas. And those are the ideas that we are after this afternoon. Because I know you have them, you live here. You know the region more than us. So that is what the conversation is all about. In conclusion, I hope that our discussion today and future engagements, as the governor have mentioned, that let this be the beginning of our conversation. I want to assure you, Honorable Governor, that indeed it is the beginning of an ongoing conversation for prosperity in the region, for prosperity in our country. It is our country, and together we can build national prosperity. So thank you very much, and I look forward to our engagement.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I think if I try to summarize what you say, I'll probably do a disservice, so I would not want to attempt that. Safe to say, to reiterate, we cannot only be the ones importing. I think that's a very critical one. We cannot be the ones that are importing all the time. And also, what distinguishes Zambezi from other regions? What makes this region tick? I'm hoping that we'll get those answers by the time we end this engagement. Now we shall go into presentations, and then this would be 15-minute presentations. I'll be using a timer. So if you see me, if you are presenting, and if you see me standing up or start scratching my head, you must know that you have 5 minutes left. And if you continue and I stand up, then you know your time is up. And if you look at the program director is also going to be a presenter. So I'll be doing it to myself also, to be fair to everybody. So the first presentation will come from the Ministry of International Relations, and really that is to give us an overview of what is this international or the SADC, the African Continental Trade Agreement. And that presentation will be done by Mr. Zacchaeus Kapenda. Mr. Kapenda, you are ready. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. And let me also stand on the protocols that are already established while acknowledging the presence of my minister and the governor of the mighty Zambezi region. I'm very much happy really that my minister has stated that our ministry is really responsible for external trade management. So meaning that we are here to really to advance market access for our products that we are producing as a country. To this end, the ministry has really engaged or has facilitated the establishment of various trade agreements that we are party to. One is a SACO and the SADC, and also now the Continental one. But we have also another one that we also negotiated, known as a COMESA EAC SADC tripartite agreement. When you look from Cape to Cairo, on the right-hand side of the continent, we want to open up that market so that the products will be able to move freely. So maybe before I really go into details, just for people to understand and appreciate as to what is a free trade area. So a free trade area is simply an engagement either between two member states or more than one member state, where they agree really to do away with tariff or the import duties that you pay at the border, or either to reduce them. So now those products that will be exempted from those duties, only those that really originated or manufactured or produced within those member states, or they have met the rules of origin criteria to be declared as originated. So for example, now with this arrangement, if you say now you want to perhaps import from elsewhere and you want to trade within the continent, those products might not really enjoy those trade preferences. We're also seeking to liberalize some services so that we also open up our services. For example, colleagues, if you go to Botswana, you find that Bank Gaborone is a subsidiary of Bank Windhoek, so it's a trading services that we are also trying to advance. Of course, some of this, because of the time, my minister has already mentioned them, but just to indicate to say that the SACU arrangement that we are party to, it has also entered into free trade agreements with other member states like the SACU Mercosur. Mercosur are those countries in the Southern American continent like Uruguay, Paraguay, and so on, and also the SACU UK. Remember that UK used to be part of the EU, right? But now when they moved out of the EU, we want to maintain that market access for our products. Hence, we do have what we call SACUM. SACUM is a SACU UK, and we are joined also by Mozambique in that trade arrangement. We have now our SADC, and the SADC has also entered into free trade agreement with the EU under what we call Economic Partnership Agreement, where we are able to trade our products duty-free, provided that we have met the standards required for export into those markets, because standards are one really, and the certification, those requirements are one of the criteria really when one wants to trade. So now we are here really to talk about the Continental Free Trade Agreement or area that our minister spoke about, because we want to enhance and deepen intra-Africa trade. So, of course, we know that Africa is about 55 member states, right? And so this information to say that, no, when did we sign the agreement, when did we ratify, the minister already spoke about it. Because of the time that I'm given, perhaps I should skip this one. But what I want to emphasize to say that the objective really of this Continental Free Trade Agreement is for us to create a single market for our goods that are produced within the continent, and also the services, for us to deepen our economic integration. So we want to do away with the tariffs, or to phase them down, or to reduce them. Because what characterizes our continent as opposed to other continents, for example, in the EU, you find that they have a deeper integration where you might move from one state to another without really discovering that you have crossed the border. So that's the long-term agenda, that we want to move to that deeper integration one day. And we also want to promote our industrial development, because when we have opened up, we have a secure market access, then of course we can attract industry to come now and manufacture in our country. So now, when you look at the African member state, we trade among ourselves very, very minimal, at only about 15%, while we trade for about 65% with the EU and for about 50% with China. It's like there's so much trading among ourselves. And one of the challenges is that the goods are attracting duties because they were not liberalized. And also, there are also certain non-tariff barriers, the issues that restrict or hinder trade. As long as that they are not tariffs, they are known as non-tariff barriers. It can be road networks, it can be customs procedures, the borders, all those things, we want to address them. Our continent has about 1.4 billion people now, with really about 3.5 trillion GDP. and it's really good for us to have a disposable income. So now when you look at these continental free trade agreements, of course, we have a protocol on trade in goods, which deals now with the actual products that you want to trade. And you have indicated to say that when you are entering into these free trade agreements, you have now, or the member state have to agree on the products to be liberalized. And this is really covered that the goods that we have liberalized or they have been liberalized within the continent. As part of SACU, we have submitted our offer, and our category A, which is for immediate liberalization, really stood about 90%. So we are ready to go, and we really implore our business community to do business. We also have the protocol on trading services, because we know that goods, they don't move by themselves. They need services to be able to move. So another protocol is a protocol on women and youth in trade. We want these people, our women and our youth, to also be able to trade and benefit from this continent. We have also a protocol on the intellectual property rights. This is to ensure that our innovations, our traditional knowledges, they are protected. For example, you see this region really has a large endowment of a devil's claw. But when you look at that healing component within that devil's claw, we don't own it. It is patented by somebody else. So we are saying we want to start really protecting our innovations on the continent. We have also the protocol on investment, on the digital trade and the e-commerce, because when you look at the countries that are doing so well, or the companies that are doing so well in terms of trade, are those using e-commerce or digital trade. The Alibaba, the Amazon. Of course, in Namibia, we have also the upcoming, like Tulande, Katuka. You can Google them out. Really, you will be able to trade your products on those social, digital platforms to attract more audience. And we have also now on the protocol on the rules on dispute settlement to say, if you now, during the course of your doing business, if there happens to be a certain dispute, how do we settle them? How do we find amicable solution to? Yeah. So we also have a competition, a protocol on competition policy, just to make sure that really our industries are protected against unfair trade practices. So my minister has already mentioned that we have developed that implementation strategy plan to guide us on how to go about benefiting from this agreement. So as we strive to really discover new markets for products, we want to create export opportunities for our producers, for our manufacturers, for our people. And we're really happy to say that while we were busy negotiating these continental free trade agreements, and my minister by then, she was the higher commissioner in Ghana to the African Continental Free Secretariat, Namibia secured or was able to send meat under that arrangement. And that meat was from this region, from Katima Muliro Abattoir. So it was her initiative, yes. Okay, so we also seek now to eliminate some of those trade barriers that I spoke about. Today in the morning, I went to the border here at Katima Muliro. Really, I found a long queue of trucks. And I interviewed a couple of, some of them, they said that no, they have been there for 3 days. Those are things that really we do not want to have. To this end, as a country, we also seek to establish a one-stop border post between Namibia and Zambia, so that the trucks, the cargos, you only stop once at the point of entry. If you are going to Zambia from Namibia, you only stop on Zambia because all the officials of the two adjacent countries, they will be under one fiscal structure. Yeah, we have also harmonized our operating hours through to what we call coordinated border management. Because what happens in the past, you might clear it on the Namibian side, but when you go on the other side, you might find that the border has closed. But of course, we know that there are still a bit of challenges that we are addressing through our engagement through that one-stop border post. We also really want the SMEs to be able to utilize opportunities, to be able to penetrate and grow, and penetrate this market. Of course, the government has several programs. The Minister of Mines and Energy, I believe, is going to talk about it, one of its equipment aid. And from our side, we really assist the SMEs to showcase their products, really for the world to know as to what is that Namibia produces, especially those with a potential to trade. So you can always approach us. We have colleagues from the ministry. You can always engage us for more information. The challenges that might come with free trade agreements are such that, look, our economy is not so that big as compared to the other economies like South Africa, Algeria, and others in the region. So might really face stiff competitions because they didn't only open up their markets for your products, but we have also opened up market for their products. But you can be comforted that as a ministry, we are in the very, very advanced stage for us to have a law to establish our tariff administration body. Okay, Chair. Oh, Director. Yeah, really to ensure that we protect our countries against unfair trade practices. So when you have now that influx of goods coming and you don't have a structure in place to protect your industry against those, then of course you might have some challenges in terms of loss of incomes. So now, just to take you through to say that there are certain websites when, if you are a trader and you discover that you have challenges, you can enter those links, you can report your challenges that you are facing. Both at the Continental, we do have that, and also the SADC, we do have a platform where you can log your complaints. But firstly, before perhaps you go that route, you can always engage us as the Minister of International Relations and Trade, and to see whether we can find an amicable solution. So the trading services, it has also been negotiated. There are several services that have been liberalized so far: financial, communication, tourism, transportation. I see that the Director of Ceremonies is yeah, but I'm almost done. So thank you very much. I hope we'll be able to engage a bit later. Thank you.
No, I think you did well. There's still 1 minute left. I was going to stand up if after that. But can we give him a round of applause, please? Can you assist me with the next presentation here, please? Yeah. So the next presentation will be from the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board. And as you know, the Honorable Minister indicated that there are some agencies that are helping to achieve or to support the ministry in that mandate that the Minister eloquently explained. So just a little bit of context. Currently, statistics from the Namibia Statistics Agency indicates that about 36.9%, the country is having unemployment about 36.9%, of which 46% is the youth. We also have the second most unequal society in terms of the Gini coefficient, We're standing at around 0.5. The higher you go, closer to 1, the higher the inequality is. So that is what we have currently. And of course, 47.5% of Namibians are monetarily or multidimensionally poor, or both. So what is the mandate in the support of then the Ministry of International Relations and Trade? We're looking at investment promotion, development and facilitation, and also MSME development. Why do we exist? To unlock investment opportunities for inclusive growth. If you unlock investment, the investors, when they come, obviously there is a stimulation of economic activity, and we'll go into detail of what they do. So what do? It's to facilitate trust relationships, to attract and retain sustainable investments for inclusive economic growth. How do we do this? We've got strategic pillars that we do that. One is realize sustainable investments for inclusive growth. That's the first one. We support then the scalability of MSMEs. We enhance Namibia's competitiveness, advance Namibia's ease of doing business. Some of the issues that were raised there. Align skills to investment opportunities and private sector needs. And obviously, we want to ensure that it is the center of excellence. Now, what role does the business play? Obviously, we know that the private sector is vital for employment creation, as it is the primary engine for job creation that drives economic development and to reduce poverty. By providing jobs, the private sector empowers individuals and communities to improve their living standards and to contribute to the economy. Of course, we are saying local businesses are the country's primary investors. So leveraging investments to grow the economy is about developing, growing, and increasing the productivity of local businesses. Local businesses also de-risk an economy in a manner that government and foreign enterprises cannot. What are the benefits? We'll share some of, share these slides for everyone. So in the interest of time, I will not be going through everything. The benefits of local businesses is that it is a tool for building the know-how of effective business management skills and to achieve intergenerational transfer, building wealth in the long term, and also to close inequalities. Now, why are we talking about foreign direct investment? Our main objectives why we are talking about foreign direct investment is 1, job creation, 2, local supply chain development. I think the previous presenter was talking about if an investor come in, if they open a project, that project needs downstream support services, and those services can be provided by either our SMEs or our MSMEs. And therefore, it's important that we develop the local supply chain so that our people are positioned to take advantage of those opportunities. Import substitution. I think the Honorable Minister indicated that we should not be the only ones that are importing. So we need to start looking at how can we substitute technology absorption, regional development. As a region, Zambezi region, what is it that what is our unique selling point? Those are the type of things that we are looking at so that the foreign direct investment is directed and it's sector specific and it's region specific so that it's not always everything going to a specific region. How can we get more out of foreign direct investment? I think proactively directing support, so if investors come in and we know a profile of Zambezi is like this, we can direct them to say there are these potential projects or propositions that are available in Zambezi, and we can match the needs then of the region with what the investors require. We're looking at aligning investors to our development agenda that is basically dictated by NDP 6, inculcating a culture of internships and apprenticeship, building and incorporate local business and MSMEs into the value chain, which I have indicated earlier on. If we look at the needs of the different investors, you'll find investors that are looking for basically resources, like the natural resources of the region. You will find another investors that are looking at efficiency-seeking investors. So their focus is more on cost of production and ease of doing business. Then you will find investors who are knowledge-based. They are looking at skills and innovation. And you find another investors that are basically seeking or focusing on the market and the offtakes that is available in a particular location. This one I'll skip. Those are critical sectors that basically the investors are looking at when they decide to come to a particular location. But in the interest of time, I will skip that one. So as an agency, we are a vehicle to grow the economy by supporting the growth and development and productivity of business. Currently, we've got priority sectors for economic diversification. We're looking at energy, which is the renewable energy, the green hydrogen. We're looking at the oil and gas, food industry. We're looking at chemicals and basic materials, transport and logistics, services, both digital and global business, culture and creative industry, tourism and sport. I think tourism is more relevant also for Zambezi, communication and technology, machinery and electronics, as well as metals, mining, and adjacent industries. So those are our priority sectors for economic diversification. As a NIBDP, we have got various working committees. One is a policy working committee looking at various, analyzing policies and proposing amendments for new policies to make sure that the regulatory environment is favorable for the investors. What is the outcome of that engagement? It has increased investment flows. The next one is ease of doing business in the country. The focus is basically to identify and implement measures to enhance the overall ease of doing business within the country. And that is to fast-track job creation. I think those are the couple of ones. The next one is public-private forum as well as the productivity task force. Currently, we have got a pipeline of over 224 million. The highest in terms of the pipeline of investments that are there currently is the agriculture and food processing, and I think Zambezi, being a region that the governor also indicated is very endowed with agriculture, I think that is an area that we could look at. Agriculture and food processing, from that 224 million, about 27% of that is for agriculture. Renewable energy around 26%, and it goes down to tourism, hospitality, and entertainment around 7%. These are the projects that are in final investment decision making. The regions that are present there, you can see Zambezi is not part of it. We would be interested to get Zambezi on that map. So what do we do for local businesses? We want to promote local entrepreneurship innovation. So there are initiatives that we do currently to help to promote local entrepreneurship. Scale Up Namibia is one of them. Investment propositions is one of them. We've got various ideas, small business ideas, and all of these are available on the NIBDP website. When it comes to land size, we have developed a land directory for investors where we can engage with traditional authorities, we engage with NIDA. Also, we are in the process of engaging various regions to establish what we call regional investment committees. As we speak now, there is a team going in Omaheke to start to actually establish a regional investment committee. So, Honorable Governor, very soon we are coming to Zambezi also, so that we can formalize and establish a regional investment committee, so that we can look at how we can prioritize investments and profile a region, so that we can know what exactly is coming. Yeah, so those are the type of things that we do. In the interest of time, I think, let me just quickly show you some of the success stories in terms of investments that we have facilitated. Your Kitchen is based in Windhoek. I think they've created investment value of around 17 million. 40 permanent jobs were created and 30 were temporary. Clean Energy Solutions, that's based in Walvis Bay, about 500 million worth of investment. Namibia Berries is just around here, Kavango East region, Diwindu area, about 1.1 billion expected to be invested over a period of 7 years. Permanent jobs, 500, and about 850 jobs on a temporary basis, on a seasonal basis. Then we've got the Northern Grape Project at Etunda, around 700 jobs at full capacity. 130 million has been invested there. We have one in Erongo, Arandes area, High Iron, 500 million. That one was also officially commissioned by Her Excellency earlier this year. Kelp Blue is also another pilot project in the Karas region. We have the Benguela Blue aqua farming, Perox Namibia, and Noble Carbon farming. So these are all projects that were also facilitated and through collaboration has actually seen the light of the day. So if you want more information around the potential and how to access, register, and be an investor or part of the stream, you can visit the website at nibdp.com, investment propositions. Maybe you can access some of these opportunities that are there. So in the interest of time, I didn't see the paper, so I'll stop here for now so that we can move to the next presenter, because we need to lead by example. When we say time is time, time is money. So the next presentation will be from Mr. Norbert Ruchindo from NAMRA. Please, if you have got questions, just note them. We will have a session after the presentations where we will engage further.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. Good afternoon, everybody. Honorable Selma Ashipalasi Musavi, Minister of International Relations and Trade. Honorable Dorothy Kavula, Governor of Zambezi Region. Honorable Kennedy Simasiku, Councillor of Katima Urban. Let me stand by all protocol observe. Good afternoon once again. As I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with the pace that the Director of Ceremonies was at last, but I'll try my best. I'll be presenting on the African Continental Free Trade Area, where customs rolls in the process through rules of origin. From a customs stance, there is a lot that needs to be considered when goods are cleared through import and export. When we clear our goods at points of entries, either imported or into Namibia or exported from Namibia, we often look at the value. It determines the total duties and taxes to be collected for the state. We look at the classification aspect because the correct tariff code decides the type of rate to be applied. And also we look at the origin. Where does the goods come from? The origin of goods can determine what type of duties, levies, and taxes that are to be charged on goods. Okay. Under the African Continental Free Trade Area, as you have heard earlier, it aims to boost intra-African trade by reducing tariffs and non-tariff barriers, and also aims to increase and promote economic integration and cooperation amongst African countries, and customs administration play an important role as a stakeholder in the process. Now we look at what is rules of origin. According to the AfCFTA, the rules of origin are a set of criteria and conditions used to determine whether or not goods that are traded between state parties qualify as originating goods. Rules of origin are rules and regulations that determine the economic nationality of a product. And then thirdly, the rules of origin are used to assess whether products are eligible for duty-free or reduced duties under the trade agreement rules. Now we are going to have a look at why are rules of origin important. Rules of origin are necessary to define the requirements that a product must meet in order to be deemed original within the free trade area. And then secondly is to assess if the product meets the criteria for preferential reduced import duty. And thirdly, to promote industrialization, value addition, and economic diversification. To reduce and eliminate dependency on the main sectors such as mining, fishing, and meat sectors, goods exported can benefit reduced import duty in the country of import. Promoting industrialization aligned with our Vision 2030 as we aspire to be an industrialized country by the year 2030, and then to expand existing industries, to develop new products, looking for new markets within and not limiting to just the continent. Looking at our region, we are blessed with plenty of land, fertile land for that matter, and water through the Zambezi River close to us. The region has so much potential for further expansion in the production of agricultural and horticultural produce for export within the AfCFTA, and goods exported can qualify for preferential treatment. An economic diversification in introducing new industries by encouraging the growth of new sectors, amongst others technology, tourism, and renewable energy. How to determine the origin of goods under the AfCFTA? There are two main types of ways to determine the origin of goods. Firstly, it's when it is wholly obtained. And secondly, is when its substantial transformation is added to it. I will expand furthermore on these two concepts. Wholly obtained when goods refers to goods naturally occurring or born and grown, extracted or taken in a single country. For examples, we have grapes that are grown in Namibia from seeds of South Africa origin and are of Namibia origin. We have milk or beef from criteria born and bred in Namibia and is of the Namibian origin. And then we have fish caught on the Namibian territorial waters. From where I am coming from in the south of Namibia, I'm actually from Windhoek, but I was based in the south, where I witnessed in Ocean Cape Farms the production of these grapes, fully packaged, fully grown, wholly owned by Namibia, product of Namibia, being exported to European markets, Middle Eastern countries' markets, and we have beef from Witco that is being exported, milk from Namibia dairies, hake, and horse mackerel from the Namibian waters that we are exporting through our points of entry and exit Katima Mulyo border post. Namibia is known for its fish and fish exports, and many countries would kill for an opportunity to export fish under the Namibian seal. Our fish is known and regarded as of good quality, and we are exporting it to the southern African countries and beyond to the rest of Africa. That is the agreement for foreign vessels and factories operating in our territory and who export fish which must comply with the requirements, but I will not dwell much on that one. Now what we are referring to when we talk of substantial transformation. Substantial transformation means that the goods underwent a fundamental change in form, appearance, nature, or character. Products which are not wholly obtained in a state party are considered to be sufficiently worked or processed when they fulfill one of the following criteria. A specific process must take place to transform the product. Secondly, there must be a change in the tariff heading. Value must be added to the product, and the use of non-originating materials. Substantial transformation further, as we can see, we have diamonds that we extract raw, and then we export it for further processing, and it becomes a new product where it has been polished and turned into, can be used for, jewelry and the likes. Oh, thank you very much. As we can see, we have olives that we have there, that we are seeing that are falling under tariff code 0709 when it's imported for chilled, or 0711 for unripe and provisionally preserved. When processed into olive cooking oil, the heading changes into 150910. This is a substantial transformation. Furthermore, for tan hides and skins for cattle falling under 4104, when transformed and processed into shoes, and the heading changes to 6403, which is substantial transformation. Well, on the formula being explained there. Move further. Because of time, proof of origin goods must be exported or imported with an origin certificate or origin declaration in order to be eligible for preferential treatment when trading with member states. Certificate of origin is a document that is being used at our points of entry and exit, and issued by a designated competent authority, confirming that a particular product complies with the origin criteria applying to the preferential trade under the Annex Protocol on Trade in Goods. The certificate of origin can be obtained from NAMRA offices. Certificate of origin will be stamped and signed by the officials at point of exit. The origin declaration given by the exporter on an invoice, a delivery note, or any other commercial document which subscribes to the product concerned in sufficient detail. The registration requirements for exporters under the AfCFTA. First is they have to a brief company profile, company registration certificate, export permit where applicable, and proof of right holding. Fifth requirement, proof of identity, certificate of good standing with NAMRA, and manufacturing sketches, producer suppliers declarations where applicable. NAMRA, after that, will conduct a site verification at the exporter's premises to assess manufacturing processes according to the AfCFTA origin criteria. Once the products to be traded under the AfCFTA meet the origin criterion, the exporter will be registered and obtain the certificate of origin from NAMRA. Finally, NAMRA plays a key role in implementing the African Continental Free Trade Area in Namibia, and exporters are urged to register under the AfCFTA framework to enjoy duty-free access to the 55 African countries as what alluded earlier. And with that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. I think you made it just in time, so we are still fine. The next presentation will be by Mr. Pinia Sinyala, and that is from Ministry of International Relations, Industries, Mines and Energy, sorry. You know, home never gets away from you sometimes. So the home is always registering, so my apologies. The floor is yours, sir.
Good afternoon. I acknowledge the presence of our Honorable Minister and also our Honorable Governor. And in the interest of time, I stand on the protocol already established, and we move on to the presentation quickly. I see the management of time is very demanding, so we have to make sure that we do what is required. Thank you. Yeah, as I indicate, my name is Pinia Jonas Shinyala. I am from the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy, and my presentation will cover the following topics. Quickly, we introduce the elements that can give us a basis into the presentation. We will deal with the industrial development policy. We will also go into the programs that are specific to industrial policy. We will deal also with the elements of SME program and support activities, and we also try to look into the issue of maybe, if the time allows, the issue of the cross-cutting issues. This is mainly youth, women, climate, and so on. And then we conclude our presentation. Yeah, as part of the introduction, I would just try to bring us into the details by saying Namibia industrial and the manufacturing sector is comprised of about 2,180 manufacturing companies or enterprises. On the other hand, we have got around 15,000 MSME businesses, and a large number of them are informal businesses. Manufacturing companies contribute to our GDP around 10.6% in 2023. And the manufacturing contribution to total export is around 42%. This just was indicated by NAMRA here. MSME sector contribution to GDP is around 12%, and we also have the 58% contribution to employment, which means a large number of our people that are employed outside government are working around the SME sector. When it comes to the policies, industrial development policies include also elements of export processing zones as they have been implemented in the country from 1995, and this regime is now come to an end, and there is a new regime that is special economic zones policy and the act. I could state here that the details will come, and they will be able to make sure that everyone understands what we're talking when it comes to special economic zones. We also, under the industrial policy, we also have SADC industrial policy, which also includes the automotive component. So we are moving fast, then we move into the SME policy, which also have a component of informal economy, startups, and entrepreneurship development policy. The industrial policy contains quite a few programs. One of them is the sites and premises. This one is very much known all over the country. It is the the program that develops the industrial parks, the SME parks all over the country. And through this program, we have created approximately, or we have built 148 SMEs and industrial parks countrywide. In this process, I am sure we are all aware that our implementing agency is facing some challenges, but through the interventions that are taking place today, NIDA will be back on its feet and the program will continue. The second program is Industrial Upgrading and the Modernization Program called IOMP. And this program supports technology upgrading, certification, and specialized skills in the big industry sector. It also works on the direction of improving productivity, product quality, and export potentials. Last year, in 2023-2024 financial year, we had supported 14 companies. This is mainly due to financial constraints. The program was designed to support big manufacturers, but today it has got a very, very small budget. So we are working hard around the clock to see if we can push up this budget and bring this program back to its objectives. On the other hand, last year, 2024-2025, we have received 723 applications under this program. And these applications are still receiving our attention. We hope soon we will be able to finalize the processing and be able to deliver on the awarding of the support by the program. We can also talk about priority sectors. There are not many. It's agro-processing, including meat, indigenous food, horticulture, processing, leather and the wool products, fish processing, pharmaceutical, including cosmetics, and the mineral, metallic, and the non-metallic processing. Mainly, these are the areas where the program interventions are shaping the economy in the country. The third program, which is an element within the industrial policy sector, is the special economic zones. This is designated economic and industrial areas with special regulatory and fiscal incentives. They are a project within the industrial policy. The policy component of this regime was already approved by Cabinet, and we are now busy trying to see how best we can implement it through the Act of Parliament. Normally, the debate or the discussions around these two elements I'm displaying here. We have got, on one hand, we have got special economic zone benefits to Namibia. What are we getting as Namibia if we are giving these incentives to companies that are foreign investors or local investors? We are expecting these companies to attract, we are expecting this policy to attract foreign and domestic investment for economic growth. That is the best benefit we are getting. We are also looking at decent jobs. We are trying to see if this regime will generate employment, but not only employment, but this employment also look into the issue of decent jobs. We also expect skills transfer or skills development, local content, business linkages. We also expect that green industries, carbon-free, environmental protection will also take place, as we also see that most companies that are now approaching Namibia are also trying to make sure that they are moving towards the solar power supply systems. It is our hope that we will be able to get these benefits as we are implementing this act. And then in this process, what are we giving away? We are proposing in the act that is all in advanced stage now, that we are proposing that we should give a corporate tax rate of around 20% to any company that is given this specific status. And we are also hoping that custom duties will be reduced. we also remember that in some around last year or 2023, Namibia was registered as a tax haven country because of the EPZ regime that we were not smart enough. We just gave a free regime, taxation, and everything to companies that are coming here. I'm hearing that some companies even were negotiating a longer life a tax regime for that matter. And we are trying to be smart this time to make sure that the custom duties will not be zero, but they will be reduced. I put 50% here. This is just a discussion. Let's say, for example, you have got import duty or custom duties at 16%, and if you give 50%, we are talking about 80% of that one. We have to further discussion and get to these elements and agree and make sure that the act is out. But the interest is to make sure that companies are in the regime, they are able to meet the elements we are saying our benefits, and we give them these benefits in a way that it doesn't create a problem for us. And I think if we move into that direction, actually we will be able to score for Namibia and also make sure that investors coming to Namibia are also benefiting from this regime. Locations, normally we propose that locations are like places like Walvis Bay and Windhoek, also northern agro-processing hubs, and this could also be linked to Walvis Bay Port regional corridors. We are trying to see how best we can designate specific areas where this regime can be implemented. But we also learn lessons from the previous regime, the EPZ regime. It was you set up your company anywhere in the country and they will apply for the status. We might also look into that and make sure that some companies that are like Namibians already, they are already here and they wanted to move into the regime. We are able also to give them the status as the law agrees. Yeah, I see the time is very tight. Special economic zones also, we are targeting specific investment opportunities in renewable energy, that is one. Agro-processing and the food industry is two. Mineral beneficiation, it is very important because our minerals are mainly going out, exported with minimum treatment in the country, and the jobs are going away with them. We need to make sure that we pay a lot of attention to mineral beneficiation, and we also consider battery manufacturing. Battery manufacturing is a tricky one. We understand that some countries like in the East, they monopolized the processes of this rare earth minerals, and there is a consequence for you to be able to have make batteries in Namibia. It is likely you have to find a way to connect it to them and make sure that you get your rare earth minerals processed there, so you are able to make a battery in Namibia. This is something that we have as a homework, and we have to see how best we can make it work. Yeah, other areas is ICT, logistics, as I indicated already, and also Africa Continental Free Trade Area, trade platforms. We also want to support with this regime the issue of us exporting more manufactured products to our counterparts in Africa. Yeah, we are also considering and proposing that this regime should also cater for oil and gas industries and the infrastructure development in the country. Otherwise, if we leave that sector out, they may struggle to get quickly on its feet. Sorry. SME programs are very much known, and I just have to rush quickly and be able to state them. That yes, we have got the equipment aid scheme. Equipment aid scheme has got a lot of elements. We have got the application criteria. We have got a lot of sectors that we are supporting, but it is very important that in the interest of time, I think I just have to give the presentation and be able to maybe discuss it in other platforms. For example, you have priority sectors. You have also application criteria, and you have application requirements that states that if you are supported once, you are not going to be supported again because there are people that are applying and are not getting successful. So like that, we have got so many criteria, and fulfilling them is also important because we have to make sure that everyone gets a piece of support from this program. But maybe I shouldn't be continuing the presentation because the time is over. What I wanted to say is that we are looking at regimes where the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy creates programs, and these programs should be able to make sure that if you have any idea, we should prepare we help you to organize your concept. We support you to how can I say to establish your business and refine your products and be able to be one of the exporters in the future. So we want to have this connection from the creation of the idea, preparing of the entrepreneur, emphasizing on knowledge and the skills, be able to manage the business, and be able to do quality products. So then the Ministry of International Relations and the Trade is able to make sure that they take you along to the markets. In conclusion, I just wanted to make sure maybe I can say two things here. Many countries have worked hard to develop their economies, especially the manufacturing sectors. But you cannot do this if you don't have at least 20% to 30% of your budget dedicated towards your manufacturing sector. Because if you put all the funds in consumption, in the end, you cannot develop your manufacturing sector. So we must be able to take those broad decisions and be able to move towards that direction and be able to make sure we have got more resources available for the manufacturing sector. So we are able to export a product that are of quality in sufficient volumes and have quality jobs at home. The last element I should state maybe as part of my conclusion is that deepen the coordination of policies and the strategies is very important. We have got, for example, we have got an IPDB with an element of SME support system. We have got the National Youth Service, is also supporting the SMEs, but each one of us is doing it in isolation. So it could be better if we have got one SME policy that gives a coordination role and be able to work with all of these stakeholders working for SME, and we are able to do something that is really impactful in society. Today we are doing very small efforts here and there, but I'm very sure if we can coordinate these efforts and be able to maybe double our resources, we will be able to make an impact in the SME sector. With that, I thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think they normally say save the best for the last, so we will pardon you for going over with 2 minutes. We continue with the program. The reason why we are trying to keep the presentations to a particular time limit is that we want to have more time engaging and asking questions and giving answers so that we can give more clarifications and explanations. So that is the reason why we are trying to keep the presentations to a certain set time limit. That said, I think we have come to the end of the presentations. We will now move into the vote of thanks, and that will be done by the acting Chief Regional Officer, Mr. Bevan Walubida. Thank you. I think you are ready.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll be brief. I'm not going to stand between your questions and your answers. Honorable Selma Shipala Musavi, Minister of International Relations and Trade, and your ministerial delegation. Honorable Dorothy Kavula Simoshi, Governor of Zambezi Region. Honorable Kennedy Simasiku, Councillor for Katima Eben and Member of Parliament. our honorable councillors for both regional and local authorities, our respected traditional authorities in Zambezi region, colleagues, let me observe all the protocols as established earlier. Let me start by thanking Honorable Kennedy Simasiku. He reacted positively at the moment when we needed him most and enabled us to adjust the program. For you who have copies of the program, you can see that. Thank you very much, Honorable. That is recommended leadership. Honorable Governor, you are never too busy for any event since coming on board. You are always there to fit in whenever needed. We highly appreciate that. To the Honorable Minister, this is your initiative. And we highly appreciate the fact that you have come all the way to come and preside on your own initiative taking place in Zambezi region, where you are putting the business communities in this region, in this town, in one platform to discuss two things of their best interest, and that is trade and investment promotion. Nothing else. You see them here, they are looking at how they can trade and how they can invest. Thank you so much for that. To the presenters, and that is Mr. Kapenda, Mr. Moranda, Mr. Ruchindo, I always call him Luchindo, Mr. Shinyala. Your presentations forms the basis of what is going to be discussed here today. That is trade promotion and investment promotion. To the business community from Zambezi that are here, this is the time for you to create opportunities, to build trust, to get encouraged, and to get motivated. Thank you for coming and thank you for your patience. To the Director of Ceremony, Mr. Miranda, thank you for steering the event with the highest level of professionalism and respect of time. And let's take this time to appreciate Zambezi Regional Council as an institution for hosting the event in these beautiful chambers. The media for live streaming, broadcasting, informing the nation, and educating everybody. Honorable Minister, such engagements establishes strong mutually beneficial relationships and open communication between business people and the political leadership. On behalf of Zambezi Regional Council, I wish you the best and enjoy the Zambezi Brim. God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Olupita, and I think let me take the honor to also thank you very much for those vote of thanks. Yes, we cannot allow the Honorable Minister to applaud alone, please. Can we join her? Thank you. Yeah, so now we've come to the first part, but I've been requested that as Director of Ceremonies, let's make this thing official, because we have got the whole of Namibia watching and they are following us. And we've started with national and AU anthem. We need to conclude with that so that we can then excuse the members of the media and we can conclude the live broadcast. So can I ask you to rise, please, for the singing of the AU and the national anthems?
Together, the victories won for our nation.
take this opportunity